Watch today's video until the end, because there is information at the end that not everyone knows. And subscribe to the channel now to get such videos regularly. Famous Hollywood action actor Charles Bronson was known for his gruesome silent roles. Bronson, a former coal miner, gained fame for his mysterious and secretive personality, but his private life was filled with tragedies and triumphs. Jill Ireland discovered that both privileged and unprivileged tough lives exist. The love story of Charles Bronson and his wife was unforgettable, but unfortunately, it ended tragically. Find out why and how his legacy lives on today. Bronson was born in Aronfeld, Pennsylvania, on November 3, 1921. Charles Dennis Linsky, one of 15 children of Lithuanian immigrants, grew up in hardship. Charles supported his family by working in coal mines, as the Binsky family faced financial difficulties on and off screen. Bronson's character originated from his working-class origins, giving him a genuineness that few performers can match, especially among first-generation American children. Bronson, a first-generation American, joined the U.S. Army Air Force in 1943, despite his strong accent, which made him appear foreign to his fellow soldiers. He also spoke Russian and Lithuanian. After working in mines, Bronson served in the 60th Flexible Gunnery Training Squadron and in 1945, as a Boeing B-29 Super Fortress aerial gunner with the 39th Bombardment Group's Guam-based 61st Bombardment Squadron. He survived 25 combat missions and was awarded the Purple Heart for his injuries. He returned home with a renewed sense of purpose. After playing small roles due to anti-communist sentiments, Charles Bronson pursued an acting career. He shared an apartment in New York City with fellow actor Jack Klugman and moved to Hollywood to study at the Pasadena Playhouse. Charles eventually found a new purpose in traveling. In 1951, Henry Hathaway directed Bronson in his first film, You're in the Navy Now, when he played a sailor. The actor was chosen for the role because he could vomit on command. In 1951, Charles Bronson starred in The Mob and People Against O'Hara, directed by John Sturges. In 1952, he became a well-known actor in the 1950s, starring in movies like Battle Zone, Pat and Mike, Bloodhounds of Broadway, Diplomatic Courier, Red Skies of Montana, and The Marrying Kind. He collaborated with renowned filmmakers like Henry Hathaway on My Six Convicts. Bronson gained fame on television. He played the role of Cauliflower McGug, a boxer, in a sketch with Skeleton on The Red Skelton Show. He also co-starred with Lee Marvin in the espionage series. Bronson, who played Vincent Price's assistant Iger in Andre Du's 1953 horror film House of Wax, spent over $23 million to learn American Sign Language for his silent role. House of Wax was the fourth highest-grossing movie in the United States that year because of its cultural and historical significance. The Library of Congress decided to press reserve it in the National Film Registry in 2014. Born Charles Binsky Bronson changed his stage name to Bronson in 1954 after being influenced by the Bronson Gate at Paramount Studios because Binsky name sounded suspiciously Eastern European. It was affected by the anti-Soviet feeling of the time. By the late 1950s, Bronson was starting to make a name for himself in Hollywood, appearing in supporting parts in movies such as John Sturges's war drama Never So Few. Bronson readied with Sturges in 1960 to play one of the 7 gunfighters defending a village in The Magnificent Seven. Don't you ever say that again about your fathers, because they are not cowards. Despite receiving a modest $50,000 salary, Bronson's performance became famous, and the movie became wildly successful in Europe before turning a profit later. The Library of Congress declared it to be culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant, and it was added to the National Film Registry in 1960. Bronson appeared in programs like Laramie, The Islanders, and Riverboat. He later starred in films like X-15, Thunder of Drums, and Master of the World. Additionally, he starred in One Step Beyond in The Twilight Zone in 1961 and made a guest appearance on General Electric Theater. In 1963, Bronson's breakthrough performance was in The Great Escape, a World War II prisoner of war drama directed by John Sturges. The film grossed $1.7 million on a $4 million budget and earned him a Golden Globe nomination for Best Picture. It became a classic and one of the highest-grossing movies of the year. In 1968, Bronson began starring in European films, which led to a dramatic career change. Sergio Leone's spaghetti western Once Upon a Time in the West, which sold millions of tickets in Italy, France, and Germany, was a notable success. The film was later selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. Bronson's Hollywood career was thriving, and he collaborated with director Michael Whitwer on Shadows, followed by The Mechanic and The Stone Killer. Bronson played Paul Kyrie, a New York architect who becomes a vigilante following a family tragedy. Despite being criticized for its graphic material, the movie made $22 million and made Bronson a well-known action star. Wish's popularity paved the way for 4 follow-up films over the next 20 years, solidifying Bronson's place in the action genre. Bronson starred in 2 of filmmaker Tom Gree's 1975 productions Breakout and Breakheart Pass, a western adapted from a book by Alastair Mlan. In the same year he played a street combatant during the Depression in Walter Hill's film Hard Times. Roger Ebert praised Bronson's portrayal as one of his most definitive, and Hard Times was well received after Robert Redford, Barbara Strand and Al Pacino. Bronson was the 4th biggest box office attraction in the United States by 1975. When his popularity reached its zenith, Bronson kept playing a variety of parts, including his first appearances with director J. Lee Thompson in St. Ives and the 1976 Western comedy From Noon Till 3. He received plots and multiple award nominations, including a Golden Globe for Best Television Movie for his role in Irvin Kershner's 1977 television film Raid on Amba, which was based on a true story. Throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s he worked with Thompson on a number of additional movies such as Love and Bullets, Cabo Blanco and Death Hunt, in which he co-starred with Lee Marvin Bronson, and Marvin played long-standing rivals in Death Hunt, which was based on a true story. The New York Times praised Bronson and Marvin as experienced pros who gave their roles depth. After the movie's success, Bronson was considered for roles in Escape from New York and Superman in the late 1970s. However, he was ultimately chosen for roles in action movies in the 1980s, particularly with Cannon Films, which were known for their tough, gritty action. Hero was established with the character of Paul Kyrie in Death Wish 2, followed by sequels like Death Wish 3 and Murphy's Law. Bronson portrayed tenacious protagonists in movies like 10 to Midnight and The Evil That Men Do. After playing Union leader Joseph Yonke in the 1986 television movie Act of Vengeance, Bronson made a significant career change by not carrying a pistol or engaging in violent altercations. Critics praised his portrayal of Yonke as honest and demonstrating depth. Beyond his typical action parts, Bronson was a very private person. Despite his notoriety, he maintained a guarded demeanor, rarely gave interviews, and carried the pain of his challenging upbringing into his lucrative Hollywood career. Despite his wealth and international recognition, Bronson was said to be quiet and reserved, frequently avoiding his movies. He was resentful of individuals in the business who had ignored him in his youth, and he was frequently blunt in his dealings with the media and co-workers. According to Roger Ebert, Bronson had a genuine advantage over other action performers. He looked as menacing in person as he did on television. Bronson had a significant influence on film and was a memorable figure in Hollywood history due to his ability to play tough characters. Although Bronson's career took off, meeting actress Jill Ireland also had a significant impact on his personal life. According to reports, Bronson fell in love with Jill, who was first married to his friend and fellow actor David Mallum. He apparently boldly declared to Mallum, "I'm going to marry your wife," as promised. Bronson and Ireland got married in 1968. Following the dissolution of Jill and David's marriage, their union developed into one of the most famous love tales in Hollywood, with appearances across many of his films. Jill Ireland emerged as Bronson's muse, and their relationship was indisputable. The couple's love of family and desire for success brought them together, and they shared a great deal of affection and understanding. They formed a close-knit family by raising 7 children together. Bronson and Ireland maintained a modest profile despite the glitz of Hollywood, putting their family first. Her breathtaking beauty and charming personality undoubtedly helped the image, which shone a light on his life, which had many challenges to conquer, to put it mildly. Bronson and Ireland were a successful Hollywood couple, with rising popularity with each film. However, they faced a devastating setback when Jill Ireland was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1984. Charles Bronson supported her through several surgeries and therapies, providing unwavering support. Ireland wrote about her struggles to inspire others. Unfortunately, Jill Ireland died in 1990 after a 6-year battle. Bronson was devastated and felt the full impact of her passing. His family and friends said his life was forever changed after Jill's death. After Ireland's death, Bronson continued acting but was never the same. In 1998, he married Kim Weeks, a singer and former Dove Foundation employee, to find happiness again, but he struggled with age and illness. Bronson's health started to decline in the late 1990s. He had Alzheimer's disease which affected his memory and cognitive function, and he needed a lot of care in his latter years. After his wife passed away, he constructed a whole cane in her honor because it was specially made for him, and he safely buried her ashes inside to honor her contributions to the film industry. In 1991, Jill Ireland received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame's Hollywood Boulevard, the main character in the television movie Reason for Living. The Jill Ireland story, which was based on Ireland's memoir, was portrayed by Jill Clayburgh. Although the actor Clayburgh had never met her subject, she read Ireland's memoir lifelines and listened to recorded interviews in which Ireland participated. Her posthumous as an executive producer was also displayed, and it received mixed reviews when it was shown. Bronson continued to be the quiet, powerful person his fans loved even in his latter years. Charles Bronson died on August 30, 2003 at the age of 81 following pneumonia-related complications for Hollywood. His passing signaled the end of an era. The demise of a celebrity whose passion and on-screen persona had made him a cherished icon was mourned by fans everywhere. Charles Bronson's passing was more than just the passing of an actor. It was the goodbye to a man whose life had been characterized by fortitude, love, and an unwavering spirit. Even though he did have his biggest break in the film industry, it was finding Jill Ireland that truly changed his life. It's incredible to watch how Charles Bronson falls deeply in love with someone else. In other words, it was quite unusual for the actor to show even a small amount of emotion, but even the most resilient people can fall for the romance. He was unable to cope with Jill Ireland's beauty and spirit, so he let his defenses down and received hundreds of dollars in return from movies they've collaborated on, and it will undoubtedly serve as a reminder of one of the most cinematic. The death certificate of a Hollywood partner lists respiratory diseases as the primary cause of death, despite pneumonia and Alzheimer's disease being mentioned as contributing factors. Stephen Hunter praised Bronson for his life force, stoic toughness, and ambiguity. He was buried in Brownsville Cemetery in West Windsor, Vermont, with a cane containing Jill Ireland's ashes, symbolizing their eternal connection. Bronson also suffered from metastatic lung cancer, COPD, and congestive cardiomyopathy. In 1974, Bronson told critic Roger Ebert that despite his lack of acting skills, he was skilled at subtly controlling a scene. He never quit, never complained, never sulked, simmered, or bristled with class resentments, but persisted and got the job done. I am a product, like a cake or soap, that will be sold. Charles Bronson's strength on screen creates a sense of anticipation, even while he is passive, even though he has passed away. Charles Bronson's legacy and impact on the action genre continue. His films, which explored morality, have influenced future action heroes. Justice and Revenge, with its complex characters, challenged traditional gender roles in cinema and emphasized masculinity, capturing audiences' attention and inspiring further work. This effect is still evident in modern action films. Fans worldwide admire Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland's legacy, as their films continue to inspire performers and directors. Ireland's struggle with cancer raised awareness, and their love story remains a testament to their commitment and love. Jill Ireland and Charles Bronson, a timeless force in film, created an enduring love story together.